How old are people in Ninjago? That's a question that many people have asked, and to this day we still don't have a really clear answer. So in this video, I'm going to be attempting to answer that question for certain Ninjago characters. So let's get right into it. The first character we have is one of the best new characters from Dragon's Rising, Eagle. Now, Eagle, in my opinion, just seems really old. Even he says that he's getting old in Dragon's Rising Season 2. Now, we do know that dragons can live for a really long time. Like, for example, Firstborn has been around for tens of thousands of years. But I don't think that he is as old as someone like the first Spinjitzu Master, who I estimated to be over 10,000 years old. So, I don't think he's that old, but I also don't think he's super young. I still think he is in the thousands of years old. So, taking all that into account, I'm going to estimate Eagle's age at around 4,000 years. Now going into Rontu, I think that Rontu should be similar in age to Eagle. I mean, they are partners, they do live together, they both did a bunch of stuff together, so I'm also going to estimate her age around 4,000 as well. Next up on the list, we have Forbidden 5, and technically these are 5 different people, but I'm assuming they're probably going to be around the same age, or if they're not the same age, they're within like say 20 years of each other. Now these guys were around during the time of Eagle and Rontu, specifically when Eagle and Rontu were still in their prime, so I'm guessing that's maybe 500, 600 years into their lives. I'm guessing that these guys are a bit younger than Eagle and Rontu because Eagle and Rontu did defeat them, leading me to think that Eagle and Rontu might be a little bit more experienced than them, or a lot more experienced than them. Finally, in Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 1, Nock did say that they've been trapped in nether space for long centuries, so that kind of confirms my earlier beliefs. Ultimately, I'm going to estimate these 5 guys or girls to be around 3,500 years old. Next up, taking a break from the ancient warriors, we have the current manager of the Monastery of Spinjitzu, Mr. Frohiki. Now, Mr. Frohiki is a frog, so it's kind of hard to tell his age, but I don't think he's super young considering his voice and the fact that he's been a reputable person in the Crossroads for a while. Like, I definitely don't think he's around his 20s, but I also don't think he's super old, like in his 70s. Now, Mr. Frohiki is a frog, which means that he is not a human, which means I can't really estimate his age super well, but if I were to make a guess, I would guess somewhere around 40 years old. I think that would be a decent guess given the clues that we have already. Next up, moving into one of the biggest villains in Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 1, we have Jordana. Now, Jordana, I think, should be similar in age to Sora. I did estimate that Sora's age was 15 years old, and I think that Jordana should be somewhere around that. They were classmates in school in Imperium, so she might be a bit younger, a bit older. So 14 to 15 is my final answer for Jordana's age. Just a quick reminder before we move on, make sure to subscribe. I already have 2 videos exactly like this, so if you're interested in those, link will be in the description. But getting back to the list. Now we have Cinder, another major villain in Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 1, and Cinder seems pretty in line with the ninja's age in my opinion. Listening to his voice, I mean, it isn't super deep and there aren't like any wrinkles on his face or anything like that, but that could just be a design thing and Lego getting lazy. So I think being in line with the ages of the ninja should be a decent estimate for Cinder's age. I'm going to be assuming Cinder is around 25. Next up, we have Lord Ross, and again, Lord Ross is interesting because he is not a human, he is a wolf tiger thing. It's clear that he has a master who's probably this ancient being, and it's also clear that Ross has been planning something, we don't know, for a very long time. So taking all of that account, I don't really think Ross is a young person. Like, he's definitely much older than the ninja, I think. I don't think he's thousands of years old like Master Wu, who I estimated was around 1,000 years old. I think he's definitely a bit younger than that, but definitely maybe older than like 50. If he was a human, then I might be able to estimate his age from like his voice and his general appearance, but because he is a wolf, I really don't know anything about his age, but I have a feeling that we'll learn something about him pretty soon. Taking all that into account again, I'm going to be estimating Lord Ross's age at around 100 years old. Moving on with another new character from Dragon's Rising Season 2 Part 2, we have Frack. And Frack is a similar case to Jordana. Jordana we could assume was similar in age to Sora because they were classmates back in Imperium. And just like Jordana, Frack was like best friends with Eren back when they were younger. So I don't think it would be too unreasonable to assume that Eren is around the same age as Frack. Again, though, Frack is not a human. But just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to be assuming Frack is around 16, similar to Eren's age. Moving on to the villain from Dragon's Rising Season 1, we have Empress Beatrix. Now, when we first see her meeting up with Roz in the Dragon's Rising Season 1 flashback that occurs in like episode 18, she seems to be in like her late teen years, and I'm guessing this is somewhere approximately 10 years before the merge. So she's in her late teens, let's just say 16, 17. After that, she kills her father, rules for about 10 years, then the merge happens. I estimated that the events of Dragon's Rising Season 1 occur around 5 years after the merge. So by that estimate, Beatrix would be around 31 by the time of Dragon's Rising Season 1. Now, again, we don't really know what happened to her after Dragon's Rising Season 1, but Dragon's Rising Season 2 is around half a year to 1 year later, so if she was alive, she would be like 32 in Dragon's Rising Season 2. Knowing Beatrix's age, we can also very confidently guess Beatrix's age because it's the exact same. I mean, they're twins. So Beatrix is also around 32 years old during her appearance in the Tournament of the Sources. So those are all of the characters that I have for this video. Let me know down in the comments below if there are any other characters you want me to guess the age of, and I'll probably include those in part 4. But other than that, make sure to like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of my estimates down in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.